has now been released today. We'll leave that story there for now and take you to this story. These visuals coming to us from KaNyamazane in Mpumalanga. You will know that those protests have been ongoing for some days now. Our reporter Linda Kulu is there. He's been tracking the story for us. Linda Kulu, if you are able to hear us, you are live on ENCA now. What's the latest update you can give us from KaNyamazane?
Well, good afternoon, Michelle. We are indeed coming to you from KaNyamazane, and protesters have vowed to continue protesting here, and the police are trying to clear up their trouble. As you heard us speaking to Ubabu Zuma, saying that they will be trying to clear up this area and make sure that it is a law and order returns to these areas. But police are trying to actually chase the protesters away. But the protesters are remaining adamant to protest, and they are throwing stones all around. But police are keep on charging forward. As you can see, even that huge vehicle from the police trying to go to where the protesters have fled to ensure that they do not come back to this area. There were a few rubber bullets dispensed, but it seems everything is calm, and they are able to actually chase the protesters away at the moment.
Linda Kulu, for our viewers who are just tuning into the story now, give us some background on what sparked the protest. Let's start there for the moment, and we'll go to the Premier's visit that happened just a little earlier. But first, just give us some background on what sparked this protest.
Well, Michelle, in May on the 27th, we understand that there was a hailstorm that devastated parts of Nelspruit, including KaNyamazane, and after that it was declared a disaster area, and they were then told that there will be contractors who will come and fix their houses and fix some of the roofs. I'll allow my camera person to show you the visuals of where the protesters have fled, but continue in saying that after it was declared a disaster area, contractors then got a tender to move in and fix some of the houses that were damaged, and you know, there was a breakdown. Now we understand, even the Premier confirming that to us, the Premier of Mpumalanga, saying that there was a breakdown with the contractors asking for more money than what was agreed upon in that tender issuing. But we understand that residents don't want to hear the nitty-gritties of that. They want their houses fixed. After 3 months, they're saying enough is enough. They've been sleeping with buckets and rain coming in their houses, living in horrid conditions, and they are making sure now that they are ahead at this particular point in time. Hence, this protest is taking place.
Linda Kulu, you've been speaking to protesters, you've been speaking to the key stakeholders involved in this protest action. Part of what they're also telling you is that they actually want local companies employed, local contractors employed to do the work that needs to be done in terms of fixing those homes. What's the response been from local government on that point?
Well, local government, Michelle, again has confirmed that there's been a breakdown in those agreements between the contractors as well as the provincial government involved in this, issuing the tenders to these contractors. We tried probing into who exactly are these contractors, because it seems a peculiar matter when you find that there are contractors who actually given a tender and then ask for more money. But it seems the handling even from the government side has not been thorough. That's why the residents are actually up in arms right now, saying they weren't communicated properly. But the contractors were, we understand, were given a tender and they agreed on it. But given the conditions of the houses, they thought it was too low and they wanted more money. We haven't been able to identify who those contractors are. We understand that the Premier wants to speak to the people. We understand that the Premier wants to actually address this crowd, wanted to do that earlier, but couldn't do that because they don't want the Premier to address them at this stage. They want the President, because they said from the local government towards the provincial government, there hasn't been anyone who communicated to them until they took to the streets, and they're saying that shows bad faith on them, on their part, and they do not trust them anymore, and hence they want our President Cyril Ramaphosa to come to this area and address them personally on the issues that they've been facing thus far.
Linda Kulu, yeah, we saw those live visuals just a little earlier with Premier Refilwe Mchweni unable to get a word in with the protesters. So until these demands are met, what happens in the interim?
Well, as far as the protesters are concerned, as far as the community members who are protesting are concerned, they will be continuing with this protest. They will be taking it forward and ensuring that everything remains shut down as it was in the past 2 days. This is the third day, but they're saying they won't back down. Even with the police clearing this, we've seen it before, they continue to come back when the police are not on scene to actually reinforce some of their barricades to ensure that it is shut down, including the schools, unfortunately, that are in the area, because even teachers who are from outside the community are not able to access this facility, and hence there is that also that problem of school pupils not being able to prepare for their exams, since we are nearing the end of the year. But residents are saying they will be shutting it down. As far as the Premier is concerned, she did not give us a clear way or clear solution as to how she plans to on solving this. She just left with a motorcade a few minutes after the protesters didn't want to listen to her. A lot of people questioning the leadership there in terms of not being able to address or calm the people of the province down as the Premier of the province. But we understand that she is available for anyone who wants to engage with her. As far as the plans on how they will be sorting their houses, how they will be fixing or continuing with the project is concerned, we do not understand what the solution is there. She did mention that she will be trying to go back to the drawing board and get and issue out new tenders, which in the interim doesn't give us an immediate solution, even for those school pupils who don't have access to education at this point in time.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, you'll keep an eye on that story for us throughout the day. Our reporter Linda Kuhle-Kulu live to us there from KaNyamazane in Mpumalanga province. That's